Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Gary Smith here, and today I want to talk about a topic that I've seen talked about a lot recently on Reddit with my friends groups and with people I know that play Magic. A topic which is very controversial in many ways, and you can probably tell by the title of this video what that topic is, and it's mana, or more importantly, lands and land flooding and land deserting or land screw, whatever you want to call it. Although I like the symmetry of flood and desert, so land deserting. And basically what it is a situation where either you draw nothing but land and therefore have no spells to play, or draw no land and cannot get your spells to play. And a lot of people have been saying they want an answer to this kind of situation or problem that arises every so often, because the problem does lead to non-games. I know personally, when I draw nothing but land, it gets really frustrating when your opponent's playing spell after spell after spell. And when you draw no land, like you keep a 2-land hand with a draw spell, whatever, and you just never draw a land no matter how many cards you draw, it's ridiculous. And it gets very frustrating when you don't draw land either, because you have all these great things you want to do and you just can't play it. And a lot of people have looked at games like Hearthstone, which has its mana system, so you're always guaranteed to have 1 mana turn 1, 2 mana turn 2, 3 mana turn 3. And there are a few cards, like Druids, cards that allow you to manipulate your mana crystals you have available, or the mana you have available. But on a whole, you can guarantee you have mana on certain turns. Now, I'm not sure that's the answer. I mean, I'm not sure there is an answer to this problem, because I think a lot of problems people want to solve it with is more reliable mana. But they want it more reliable in the terms of, you know, when you're going to get mana and you always have access to it. Now, I don't think in a game like Hearthstone, in a game like Magic, Hearthstone's solution is the best way, where you have a non-land card you draw every turn and effectively add a land to your board every turn as well. I think that would be a very poor system, simply because how would decks work? You know, you guaranteeably hit mana every turn. You'd have the right colour of mana whenever you wanted it to. Depending on what land you played, and it would just seem very weird. Now, I know we have a conspiracy deck. There was a conspiracy in Conspiracy 2. I believe I own a foil copy of it around here somewhere, actually, if I just look for a second. Sovereign's Realm, yes. So, Sovereign's Realm, your deck can't have basic lands, and your starting hand size is 5, and you exile a card from your hand. This turn, you may play basic land cards from outside the game. And basically what it means is, whenever you can play a land for the turn, you can play one from outside the game. Which is interesting, although there weren't many, like, play extra land, like switch your deck for basic land or whatever, and there weren't many, like, play extra land, and you could run non-basic lands in your deck. Now, that tried to solve the problem, because it worked out perfect mana is stupid, right? And that's why it only starts with 5, even though then that means you're now effectively starting with a 3-card hand, or a 2-card hand, because you reliably need 3 mana to play the spells you've got. And so it gets to a situation where you find yourself fairly empty-handed, but then again, you draft a bunch of draw spells, knowing that you're going to eventually draw through your deck or whatever. I don't know, I'm not sure. I mean, it was fun for Conspiracy, and it's fun for an interesting draft format, especially when it's multiplayer and milling yourself out does affect the game. And I saw so many people lose to milling out, or losing to being the Monarch and drawing your last card. Sucked. But I'm not sure that's the way to do it. I think I've had friends who said they played not Netrunner, but another game, Versus System, I think it was, where you always had your perfect mana, and decks basically became these fundamental, like, there was no variety in decks, because you were perfect mana. And I think that would happen with Magic. I think that if you had a constructed format, and again, draft is a much better place to do it, because you can't guarantee which cards you'll get, able to have access to a perfect mana curve every turn would make so many decks more stronger than other decks, and so many decks and it takes away a whole aspect of the deck as well, the game as well, which is deck building. So I think the problem is two-pronged, really. Is you have to be able to find a way that doesn't make the game too mathematically solvable. You don't want to be able to just go, this is the one best deck in the format, because it's the only deck that has all these threats and you can play them all on curve and whatever. And you also don't want to, as I say, you don't want to be able to take away the fun of deck building. I think at the moment, I would say the current land system works best, simply because of what it adds to the game. Yes, when you get an uninteractive game it sucks, but when you have interactive games and when you get to change your deck and build it, like in Modern, you've got decks, or even Standard now, we see with aggro decks. Some aggro decks play 18 land because they don't want to draw too many, but then they also run into situations where they don't draw land, and you take this huge risk of running only 18 land to be able to play these super aggressive curves where you just play your entire hand out and win. So it goes for that advantage, but it costs itself, and it puts itself at an actual deficit in some ways in order to get these huge benefits. And I love that kind of thing. I can play a deck and I can build it in such a way as you never get a chance to respond, never get a chance to take a breath, but sometimes I have nothing to throw at you. And that's great. That's quite a fun, interesting way of playing the game, because either they'll just never draw enough land to play their stuff, or and that's the thing, the only issue they're ever going to really have is getting land screwed. Yes, they can occasionally get flooded, but 18 lands, it's not really likely to happen. And when they've only got 18 lands, the effects of a flood is less effective. You know, 5 lands is a flood, rather than in control decks where 10 lands is a flood, you know. Although I guess floods are worse because you're always... I don't know. It's a very interesting kind of situation to be in. Personally, I would not change anything at the moment. At the moment, until there's a better way that comes up, I think it's worth not changing it. Whether or not we have formats where we try and create formats that solve this solution, good. Personally think Wizards should just focus on making a good game and good cards. And I do like it, maybe if they made some other way to interact with the lands in your deck. Some interesting thing, like maybe if they just printed something like that white enchantment that when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of basic lands from your deck, put it under there, and every turn you get one. Cards like that are interesting, right? Because they effectively combine the two parts. You have to build a deck with enough basic lands, and you don't want to remove so many basic lands that if the enchantment gets destroyed, you just lose it all. But you also want to be in an interesting situation where those kind of effects are cool. And I think those are the kind of things that maybe they should experiment more often with. Or, I don't know, maybe creatures that exile basic lands you can draw instead. I don't know. There's going to be ways to do it. But no, I really, really want to see... I'd like to see some interesting ways to do it, but I'm quite happy with where it is. But what's your thought, really? Obviously, this is a bit of a discussion video. I'd like to hear your reactions to this. Do you agree with me, disagree with me? As I say, I do think that there is definite reason to improve or change the system. I just don't think any of the systems out there do it without changing the whole game of Magic and without making Magic not Magic anymore. And as someone who likes playing Magic and likes playing Magic as it is Magic, I wouldn't change anything at the moment. But again, as I say, if you've got any of your own, maybe things you've tried with your play group or your own opinions on this topic, put them in the comments below and I look forward to reading them. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.